Hey guys, so today I'm going to be preparing Falcon to load in a trailer without using a trailer. Falcon has already been adopted and will be going home with his new adopter soon. I really want to make sure that he'll be able to load the trailer. Now, I don't have a horse trailer on site, but I do have some exercises that simulate what the loading experience is like. The first thing we're going to work on is the sending exercise. Now, before working on sending, I want to review yielding the hindquarters with Falcon because we're going to be doing a lot of that. Now, this is Falcon's first time doing sending. To start out, I position myself in front of the fence. Falcon is going to have to squeeze between me and the fence to pass by. This exercise is working on several things here: the horse moving off on a point, squeezing through a tight space, and yielding the hindquarters. It's a really helpful exercise when you're starting to prepare the horse for self-loading, where you can load a horse with just a point. When I first start teaching this exercise, I really want to break it down. When the horse passes through, I yield the hindquarters and stop it, and then just wait. Eventually, I'm going to work up to sending Falcon back and forth pretty fluidly. Now, learning isn't linear. Anytime that I'm working on yielding the hindquarters or sending off at a point in whatever exercise it might be, it's likely that Falcon is also going to improve in this exercise as well. Also, if he's struggling with this, I can break it down by stepping further away from the fence, just working on yielding the hindquarters, or just working on sending off at a point. Okay, so another thing I like to do is use a tarp. The act of them stepping onto it, it's something new, it's something different, kind of simulating them stepping up onto a trailer in a small way. Actually, the way that I introduce the tarp is very similar to how I introduce a horse trailer. My aim is to keep my rope slack and stay in the horse's comfort zone. I will from time to time put enough tension to lift the clip of my line, but I try to avoid it becoming taut. Pulling a horse onto a trailer or a tarp isn't helpful, and getting into a tug of war will only decrease a horse's confidence in you. Instead, I work on building Falcon's trust and confidence by giving him plenty of time. Horses are extremely willing animals if you do that for them. This is Falcon's first time working with a tarp, and whenever I introduce a new object, I want to really encourage engagement and curiosity. Whenever he's interacting with an object, he's trying, and I try not to ask anything more of him during those times. I love the saying, take the time it takes so it takes less time. As we approach the tarp here, Falcon's feet slow and then stop, and I allow him to do that. I then add a light pressure to see if he'll step forward again. If he stops, again, I allow him to do so. After giving him a few moments, I see if he'll step forward. I really like that he put his head down to sniff the tarp. He's really trying here. I want to reward that by giving him a release and walking away. You'll see that I do a lot of approach and retreat and acknowledge Falcon's try. By doing so, his confidence is rapidly increasing. On his second approach, he went quite a bit farther before his feet stopped. That's him telling me he's not comfortable with moving forward, but he's still trying, and he interacted with the tarp. I paused a moment and then gave him a release by walking away. Again, similar to trailer loading, I don't want to pressure him onto the tarp. I want to work with the tarp in a way that helps to build his trust. And look, you can see how hard he's trying. On his third approach, he was willing to put a hoof on the tarp before stopping, and that was with the line completely loose. His fourth approach, he again paused in front of the tarp. Again, I'm not going to be pulling him forward, forcing him onto the tarp, but I am putting a light pressure on the line to see if he'll step forward. This time I want to see if he'll stay here for a few moments. This might be very similar to a horse with its two front feet on a trailer but not fully committed yet. In those situations, it's really important to be giving lots of releases where you back the horse off the trailer and walk away, rather than continually pressuring it. Giving the appropriate releases is really helpful for building a horse's confidence. When they are loading on a trailer, make sure you don't just close the door behind them. No, instead you should offload them and reload them several times. Imagine the horse overcoming its natural fear of the trailer only to be locked up inside of it the moment they step onto it. You've tricked them. They're trapped and the trailer is everything that they feared it would be. Instead, make every experience one that builds confidence. I don't know if you noticed, but I looked up that time. I wasn't going to draw my attention downward to, give him something to worry about. There was not a moment where there was tension on the line. He just stayed right with me the whole time, which was really cool to see, just like how focusing my energy, not even worrying about that thing on the ground, was really helpful for him. It was just something that I tweaked with how I was doing that. Let's try again. And of course I instantly caught myself looking down, but corrected it. Okay, next I'm gonna try lunging him over that tarp. So here we're working on a little bit of that sending with the point. Falcon hesitated for only a moment here. At this point, Falcon really didn't seem like he was having a problem at all, so I went ahead and switched the direction. And then we tried lunging him over it at the trot. In a matter of minutes, Falcon's confidence with the tarp had soared. Okay, the next step is we're gonna try doing that sending over the tarp. We're gonna go back and forth, so we're taking it up a notch now. So now we're working on moving forward on a point, stepping onto something, squeezing between something, and yielding the hindquarters. Again, this will become more and more fluid with practice. In particular, practicing sending off at the point will be helpful. All right, so we're gonna move on and go on to having him step up onto something. So I've got a pedestal. All right, so this is Falcon's first time seeing the pedestal, and my goal here is to get his 2 front feet to step up onto the pedestal. Now Falcon has a small foundation of positive reinforcement, so I'm going to be reinforcing his interaction with the pedestal. Now I'm really going to be doing a mix of techniques here. What you'll see me gravitating towards is negative reinforcement with a cherry on top, but I'm not going to be going to ins and outs of that in this video. Honestly, it was a pretty sloppy mix and really not worth talking about, but I did want to let you know that I am doing a mix of techniques here. Now I got very lucky when I put Falcon in front of the pedestal. His natural behavior was to paw at it. Initially, I'm going to mark and reward any behavior where he's interacting with the pedestal, whether it's sniffing it, pawing it, or accidentally kicking it. It really doesn't take long before the horse is confidently stepping up and you can eliminate the need for the reward. After a few minutes, I was able to get my first step up. Using a reward, I think, sends a loud and clear message that yes, that is what I want. It certainly catches the horse's attention and I think speeds the whole process up. But of course, there's still a few mistakes along the way. Here, Falcon earns a reward for putting his hoof on the pedestal for an extended duration, which of course is a requirement for standing on a pedestal. This time he went all the way up and didn't get off, so I basically just gave him a jackpot. Once this happens, it's pretty easy to get them back up on that pedestal. I asked Falcon to back off like he would a trailer and then start over. Up, up, up. When he went up a second time, he received another jackpot. I then went back to a smaller reward and we continued practicing. By the end of the session, we no longer needed rewards. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is practice sending back and forth through the gate. So this will probably be pretty easy for him at this point, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. So this time we practiced doing it at the trot.
Nice, that was so good.
And we made sure to end at the walk, bringing the energy back down. Again, with this exercise, we're working through going through a tighter space. We're also working on him moving off at the point and yielding his hindquarters.
Great.
Good boy. All right, so those are the ways that I prepare for trailer loading without having a trailer. Falcon did amazing. I'm gonna keep practicing those things. Hopefully we'll have a better trailer loading experience. Yes, good boy.
Look at this kid. So good.
Good boy.
Yeah, good boy. Good boy.